Many factory managers believes that safety audits are conducted to satisfy compliance requirements or prepare for inspections. But the real purpose of a safety audit is much bigger. Every serious injury, machine accident, fire, chemical release, or a catastrophic incident is preceded by warning signs, unsafe conditions, missing controls, poor maintenance, inadequate training, and weak emergency preparedness. Usually exist long before the incident occurs. The challenge is that these warning signs often go unnoticed during routine operations. That is why safety audit checklist becomes powerful. A good checklist helps managers systematically identify hazards, verify controls, and detect weaknesses before they results in an accident. In today's video, I will share the top 3 safety audit checklists that every factory manager should see to reduce risk, improve compliance, and build a safer workplace. So this top 3 safety audit checklist for factory managers consist of 6 key elements, and the core concept behind this is every accident can be prevented before they happen, not after they happen. And total 6 elements. First is a power up checklist, second is hazards and risk, third is guarding and lotto, fourth is emergency response, fifth is customizing checklist, and sixth is a implementation. So the core concept describes that audit checklists are not inspection forms, they are the tools for continuous risk reduction. And in the first element, power up checklist, there are three key aspects. First is consistency. So the consistency, a well designed checklist ensures that a critical safety requirements are reviewed every time without depending on a memory or individual experience. So why the checklist is important? If the auditor uh, depend every time depend on the memory or individual experience, then he may lapse the uh, every important parameters. So the consistency is important. Well designed checklist ensures that the critical safety requirements are reviewed every time without depending on the memory or individual experience. Then second point is visibility. If there is a checklist make hidden gaps visible, unsafe conditions, compliance weakness visible before they become incidents. So a- anybody not need to remember the checklist. So visibility can be increased. Then accountability. Accountability, a documented checklist creates ownership by clearly showing who inspected, what was the found, and what actions were taken. So this is the power of checklist. So second element is the hazards and risk. Hazards and risk is divided into the three aspects. First is the identification. The first step of every effective safety audit is systematically identifying hazards and can cause injuries, damage, or catastrophic events. So identification hazards is very much important in the safety audit. Second is evaluation. So evaluation, uh, each identified hazard must be evaluated based on its likelihood, its potential consequence, and prioritize actions. So the evaluation of every hazards and risk is very much important, because the risk and hazards is different, and the different in different process, in different stages, different steps in the process. And third is aspect is the control. So the real value of risk assessment comes from the implementing effective controls that eliminate or reduce risk of acceptable levels. So control measures are the key success parameters in the hazard and risk assessment. And the third aspect is the guarding and lotto. So guarding and lotto is consist of three aspects. First is the protection. The machine guards provide the first line of defense by preventing contact with the dangerous moving parts. That is important parameter of the guarding. So the first is the machine guarding is very much important. The defense line, the safety barrier for the different machines. Second is isolation. Isolation may be done for the lockout tagout ensures all hazardous energy sources are isolated before the maintenance, cleaning, or repair activities begin, such as the electrical energy, such as the kinetic energy, hydraulic, pneumatic. So different energies has to be isolated before the any maintenance kind of work. Then third is the verification. Once the LOTO is done, if there is a verification is not done, there are chances of accidents. So every LOTO activity must include verification to confirm that equipment is fully de-energized before the work starts. The fourth aspect is emergency response. My dear friends, the preparedness of the emergency response is very much important. The emergency plan must establish before the incident occurs, not during the crisis. There is a if there is a no, there is no emergency plan before the preparedness, then when the actual emergency causes, there will be the crisis. Nobody can control the scenario. Second is the response. Personnel must know exactly what actions to take during fires, chemical release, medical emergencies, or other critical events related with the first aid teams, firefighting teams, emergency response teams, safety teams, incident controllers, sideman controllers, and from the HR person who is a communication key aspects in the communication. So emergency response is mandatory. Then the recovery. Once the emergency occurred, a strong emergency management system includes the business recovery, incident learning, and prevention of recurrence. The root cause analysis shall be done. After the root cause analysis, there is a prevention for the reoccurrence shall be followed. And the fifth element is the customizing checklist. So the customizing checklist is having three aspects. First is the relevance. Most audit findings arise from the gaps between the written procedures and actual workplace practices. Then the simplicity. The checklist must be very simple. The most effective checklists are practical, user friendly, and easy for supervisors and managers to implement. Most of the checklists are vague, they are not practical. So implementing the checklist is become very difficult task to the supervisors and managers. Therefore, the most effective checklists are practical, user friendly, and easy for supervisors and managers to implement. The third aspect is the scalability. A checklist should be capable of growing with the organization as a process, equipments, and risk evolve. If there is a expansion in the manufacturing process, storage of chemicals, then the checklist shall be revised. If the equipments are changed, then the checklist shall be revised. And if the process is had changes in the fuel, such as first we are using LPG, then we are using PNG, then accordingly the checklist has to be changed with respect to scale and the changes in the equipment. Then the sixth important step is the implementation. In implementation, there is a frequency. The safety audit must be conducted at defined intervals to ensure continuous monitoring and improvement. Such as internal safety audit shall be conducted once in a year by the team of plant personnel, and external safety audit shall be conducted once in a 2 years by the safety auditors, third party safety auditors, external agencies. Then the follow up. Audit findings only create value when corrective actions are tracked and closed effectively, because the incident happens on the workplace, not on the safety audit findings. These findings has to be tracked. Its corrective actions shall be taken and it shall be closed effectively to prevent the recurrence or the occurrence of any accidents. Then the third aspect is improvement. Continual improvement is very much important. The ultimate objective of every audit program is continuous improvement in the safety performance, compliance, and operational excellence. The parameter of the safety performance has to be increased. Lost time incidents has to be reduced. Reporting of the unsafe act, unsafe condition has to be increased. Therefore, the safety performance will be increased, and the compliance has to be improved, and the operational excellence, providing different type of interlocks. So the uh, checklist has to be improved so that hazards shall be captured into the checklist. And the last point, uh, the safety audit success formula. My dear, my dear friends, there is a webinar will be conducted to uh, focus on the safety audit success formula. So don't wait for the incident, inspection, or audit failure to expose weakness in your safety management system. Join our safety audit success formula webinar and learn how to build a robust audit process that drives compliance, accountability, and operational excellence. So thank you very much for understanding the uh, three safety audit checklist for factory managers before going for the safety audit. Thank you. Please give your comments in the comment box.